This latest chapter of Fairy Tail has a lot of controversy around it, and even when I talked about the spoilers, like yesterday, there was a lot of stuff going on there where I came out of that video mainly negative on that one, and well, I can finally talk about this chapter now because there have been a lot more things cleared up, and we got some little truths revealed, what really went down, and why has Aquarius appeared to us after like all this time. So remember when I was talking about in the spoilers video and also as well with last week's chapter that I didn't like the fact that Aquarius is returning to us? Yeah, I still feel that way. The whole point of like, she shouldn't be in here after so long, and I've had this debate with a couple of people saying like, oh, why is it like the fact that she's returned now? Like, you know, like, it's been a while since, you know, in the Tyrus, that's been 2 years. The fact that even as well, I consider like the 2 years party and like it's still a little bit small really for like the manga, but also as well time wise in the actual anime as well, like it hasn't been that like long at all. And even as well, if you're thinking about time wise, like it's been about a year that they've seen each other, come on, it's like a little bit ridiculous at that point. And the explanation about like what they're doing, like after you had like Lucy like crying and hugging us and like, oh, I missed you, I did feel a little bit bad seeing that bit. It's just like, oh, you came back to me, Aquarius. And it's just like, not exactly. You know, a year's gone by since that incident happened, and a new key has been born into the world. There's been a new water bearer has been born somewhere in this world to wield the key, and it isn't a celebration or anything, but basically what happened is the Celestial Spirit King opened the door temporarily with his own powers, and we had some explanations to clear up. So even still, that's the fact, like that's the reason. It's a lot better than what the spoilers were just kind of saying, that Brandish was the master, like saying like, oh, Brandish is the master, and also as well like she's the one of the key, and I'm like, oh, that sounds fucking stupid, like she's gonna be a celestial spirit magic. Like even still, that would have been kind of interesting, but as well that'd be like mixing up with her powers, like even that with that, it's like, I still think it's too soon to have Aquarius back in there. Maybe if this is at the end, or maybe like something broke up this fight and then we find at the end. I don't know, I'm a little bit weirded on this because we really just didn't, like, we got introduced to Brandish, what, like maybe 2 volumes ago, 3 volumes ago, and now she's like somebody kind of goodish, like more than anti-hero at the moment. And what we said, like, oh, like Brandish, you know, like, you know, Aquarius, and it's like, well, basically, we just said it, like, you know, her mother was the one that held the key, and it was like, basically, they spent some time with another, and it's like, you know, it was in her care, and it's like, oh, I used to make, like, fun of her and all that, and that's kind of where the jokey kind of part went to it. It's like, oh yeah, like beg on a dog and stuff like that. It's like grabbing a teeth, like, oh, you turned into a little rebellious bitch, and you know, like you got like, you're not gonna get a boyfriend like that. And I was chuckling a bit, and I was like, this is the kind of the serious tone that we just went to and kind of went back to in the chapter. It was literally really weird, and she was just saying basically, what's going on here is like, my master is Lucy in proximity, like that means she's your master as well and all that. And he's saying, yeah, but even so, that's the truth, I can't forgive, like, you know, what she did to my mother and all that, like Layla. And it's like, oh no, Layla didn't kill her, let me show you the truth about this. And like turns it into like both mermaids, and I'm like, what the fuck, why did they turn it into mermaids? And it's like, this here is the memory of the stars, an archive of memories woven by celestial spirits for generations, and they show you what's been happening. Even 400 years ago, we get to see Lucy's ancestor known as Anna Heartfilia, and from what we know of her, she is also probably one of the greatest celestial spirit magicians like we've ever seen, like in the entire world. She's one of the first of like Lucy's generation. She's like pretty much one of the stars of the Heartfilia name, and it's like, yeah, that's the highest you ever get. And like, what happened is, like, they plan to send some powerful warriors who could defeat Acnologia in the game. So we already know, you know, Natsu, Wendy, Gargiel, Sting, Rogue, like, all of them being sent over to deal with the fact of Acnologia. And it was a plan devised by, you know, the Black Wizard Zera, the Dragons, and this Celestial Spirit Mages. And they're like, yeah, this is going to work. And one person needs to be on the other side of the door to open Eclipse. And that's the same thing with the other one. And it's like, that's kind of what was happening right there. And it's like, what we found out is like, because of the whole missing of the key, that like what happened was like Layla was trying to gather all the celestial spirit mages like all around the world to get the keys, and just to do this, to open this plan, this is what she planned doing. Like, and basically what was the problem here is that in addition to gathering the keys, that she had contacted like as well Brandish's mother, who was a connected, like who had Aquarius's key and all that, and she was like all in a different another like part of the country or something like that. She was like in a different country, like way far off and all that. And to compensate with that, Layla decided to use her own life force to make up for the power of the key. And it's just like she went that far to open the keys just so we had a fighting chance to take down Acnologia in the future. And even though she had a weak body in the first place, when she was successful at opening the door, you know, she was already falling down with, like, she had a frail body and she was going down with magic deficiency magic. And it's just like, that was kind of really fucked up that she was getting magic deficiency disease just on that. And it was like, it wasn't not until like 7 days of the fact the news like finally reached like Grammy's ears, and she just rushed over and she's like, oh, I wish we could be keys. And it's like, please take Aquarius. And she's like, I can't even use like magic anymore. I'm no longer like able to wield celestial spirit magic. It's like, oh, I'm going to give this key to your daughter then. It's like, it was kind of nice saying like that you would be keys, and we're hoping that, you know, our daughters become the best of friends like we were. And the one that actually killed Grammy was Zodio, the piece of shit that took Capricorn. And this is kind of where he went a dark path, like, because it seems like he was absolutely fanatic for Layla, and he's like, stabs her, and he's just like, it's all your fault, Layla's dying because of you, and all that's all your fault. If you, like, or you didn't get here in time, like, we would have been able to save her. And it's like, and she, like, Grammy, she just takes it and saying, yeah, this is what I deserve. Like, I deserve everything. Inside Zodio, I'm begging, take my life, but leave my daughter Brandish. Please spare her. Please, like, that's all, that, grant me this final wish. And he just like and runs away, and it's just like, that's enough. Fucking Brandish is on fucking like on the floor just screaming out, mother, don't leave me, like just crying her eyes. And it's like, I'm feeling bad, like so bad for this shit right now. And it's like, even Lucy's just like, it may be a little bit late and all that, but maybe we can do, you know, just like our mothers, we can become friends as well, even best of friends. And just her like crying up and just like, oh, we got something else. But of course, Happy comes fucking crashing in saying, we got an issue right now. Natsu's passed out and he stopped moving all of a sudden. Please help him. You got to save Natsu and all that. And it's like, okay. I'm glad that this chapter came out and like kind of changed some of the stuff that was being said in the spoilers, because with what I said in the spoilers that shit was going to be a 3 on 10. Like, I thought that was a really, really bad chapter. Now that it's been more cleared up, I still don't like the fact that Aquarius is back. However, that doesn't mean that she belongs to Brandish or Lucy anymore. It's just that someone else has got it. And honestly, keep it like that. Just like make sure like this person, like if that's going to be Hero's other manga or something like that, the other does another one or anything, like don't show Aquarius's new master or anything like that. Like, because I said it in the previous, in this like other one, is like it would be interesting if they had to fight each other like with Brandish, but now it's like if it's just a random person, which I doubt there's other celestial spirit, like there could be, which I don't want there to be in like all Zerath's army, but keep it how it is so far, like how it's going and all that. I kind of like it the way this is. Still a little bit makes it like, Aquarius has kind of appeared on this stuff. I'm glad we've got the answers, and it seems like instead of having like this big battle between Lucy and Brandish, she's now going to be supposedly joining our side. I would have liked this to be in a great more development for Lucy, but it was like more of her just saving someone that didn't want to go the dark road. But it's kind of weird, like, if this is really just like how, like, the whole answers of Layla. I thought that would have been stuff, because they were building up mysteries in the story, saying, like, oh, she isn't like Layla, like, saying, like, Layla was, like, this really dark character, kind of, like, in the words. But then, as well, that's what mistranslations are, and now we've got more of the official version of it. That's kind of what's going down right now, and yeah, I enjoyed this chapter a lot more than what was. Still a little bit disappointed we couldn't have an actual real fight between Lucy and Brandish, and then maybe we'd have got these answers. That would have been kind of cool to see, but we're going to have to see what's honestly going down with Natsu right now, because Natsu's in a fucking ordeal right now. And yeah, honestly, the chapter was a lot better for that fact, and pretty much went doubled up in score. I think it is like a 7 on 10. I think it is a good chapter, but my preference is that Aquarius should have been sticking it out for saying I'm sticking to my guns in that. But I do like being listening to people's opinions on like what they've been saying about this chapter, and even with all the spoilers as well that was out, I can definitely see that. But my own personal, like, even as well as I'm critiquing it and all that, I do have a little bit bias saying I think Aquarius should have not appeared again in the series. But that's my own personal preference. Like, let me know what you think about the conversation down below. That's just how I feel about it. I know a lot of you guys are really excited about this chapter. I'm really pumped. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next chapter. But Like, I did get really emotional. The best part of this chapter was, like, when Brandish finding the truth and just Lucy's like, yeah, you don't have to say that anymore. Stop, Brandish. Like, and just crying. And so I'm kind of looking forward if Brandish is going to become, like, one of the new characters that we're going to be seeing a lot of throughout this arc. So I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more of Brandish and see what she's going to be doing. She's going to, like, turn onto Fairy Tail side. Like, we've got, like, a last-minute new Fairy Tail, like, member. Like, that'd be kind of interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's all from me, so thank you so much for watching as always, and I will catch you guys and you Fairy Tail fans next time.